going to use a little bit of the balm. Just a little bit goes a long way. I'm going to release the levator scapula. I've put some balm in here to give me a little bit of glide, but not too slick. With the levator scapula, it originates from the transverse processes of the cervical spine. So the first one being the atlas is the first transverse process out here, just outside of the occipital ridge. So I'm going to come in and I'm going to lay my finger sideways so that I can press right against that ridge, the occiput, and I'm going to turn the head inward just a bit and probably just stabilize it with my hand, and that way I can press along that ridge and release the fascial restrictions along that occipital ridge. And then as I come out to the edge and meet the atlas transverse process, I'm going to press upward, up, as I do this, sort of a bit of an oblique angle, so a little bit like this. So as I press, that's the origin of the levator scapula, the first band of the muscle, and you can feel the restriction right there on the transverse process. And I'm just going to gently just press through that and give that a little bit of release right at the attachment. And then I'm going to go to the second place, which is going back to the middle, and at the spine, I'm going to feel for the spinous process so I can count the vertebra. And I'm going to feel that second one, the point of the spinous process. And then I'm going to drop my finger just down from that spinous process. And then I'm going to come out laterally with my fingertip to the side. And I'm going to stop right in between the transverse processes of the 2 and the 3. And I'm going to glide out along that transverse process to the end, which isn't very long, and you can feel a bit of a restriction right at the end. There's like a little bit of a knob right at the end of the bone. And I'm going to press in an oblique direction so that as to not put too much pressure on the transverse process, but just to gently. Now, pressure-wise, I might be using about 10 grams of pressure. Not very much at all. I'm just sort of coaxing the fascial tissue to relax right there at the attachment site. And then I'm going to go back in to the spinous process and look for number 3. And I'm going to go just below that and drop outward, and not drop, but I'm going to just go below that 3. And then I'm going to move laterally towards myself and to the soft area, and that's where I'm going to press up and then glide towards myself laterally. So up, and then just let go. Once again, not using too much pressure at all. And for the last place, looking for number 4. It's a little bit harder to palpate the 4th one, so you want to just lay your hand into behind the neck. There, it's about the width of the neck already, and then my middle finger is right in the middle. So I'm going to go feel for that spinous process. It's there, it's just smaller. So I'm just going to go just below that. And then same thing, I'm going to drift outward till I find soft tissue and press up and out. And that's basically the 3 or 4 origins of the levator scapula that goes down along the spine and inserts into the medial superior border of the scapula. I am going to come back in and just take these 3 fingers. Now I'm over also the upper trap. So at the spine, I feel for the spinous processes, and then I just glide off the spine and into the soft tissue, and put some slack in that muscle in the upper trap as well, and just press a little bit inward and laterally glide towards myself. And then I'm sort of following the contours of the upper trap as well, right out into the supraspinatus. And then I'm going to go back in and sort of put everything together. When I put my fingertips in the side, just to the lateral side of the spine, I can see that everything is very palpable and supple feeling. That's how I know I'm finished. And I would go to the other side.